Stop believing wealth is built in the exciting moments. The big wins, the perfect stock picks, the lucky timing, the viral side hustle. Because the Great Depression taught a much darker truth. Wealth is not built first by what you gain. It is built first by what you refuse to lose. And that is the part most people completely ignore. They chase returns while their foundation stays fragile. They focus on growth while their financial life quietly becomes more brittle underneath them. And brittle foundations never warn you before they break. They wait. One job loss. One medical emergency. One slow business month. One rent increase. One rate hike. And suddenly, you are no longer making money moves. You are making survival decisions. That is how financial collapse happens for most people. Not all at once. Quietly. Slowly. Then all at once. And if you want more conversations like this, no fluff. No fake motivation. No fantasy finance. Subscribe right now, because you are not here to feel inspired for 5 minutes. You are here to become safer, stronger, calmer, and harder to break. Today, I want to show you the wealth-building habits people learned during the Great Depression, habits that built financial resilience long before social media started selling luxury lifestyles and get-rich-quick fantasies. And the frightening part, most people today ignore these habits completely. Then they spend years wondering why they never feel secure, no matter how much they earn. So let's begin. 1. Cash isn't dead, it's dignity. During the Great Depression, cash on hand was not viewed as lazy money or a loyal asset. It was survival. It was the difference between staying housed and losing everything. The difference between feeding your family and hopping. Someone else could save you. But today, people treat emergency savings like an optional financial side quest. Something boring. Something they will eventually get around to. And here is the problem with that mindset. Emergencies never arrive when your investments are up. They never wait until your finances are convenient. A real emergency fund does one thing better than almost anything else in personal finance. It prevents you from selling your future during a moment of panic. That is what cash actually buys. Not returns. Breathing room. So here is a practical target. Start with $1,000 if you are in survival mode. Then build toward 1 month of expenses. Then 3 to 6 months. And if your income is unstable, aim even higher. Now ask yourself this honestly. If your income stopped tomorrow, how many days would you realistically be okay without borrowing money? Really think about that. If the answer makes your stomach tighten, good. That discomfort is not weakness. It is awareness. And awareness is where financial stability begins. 2. Don't owe anyone was pride, it was protection. One of the biggest misconceptions about Depression era thinking is that people avoided debt because they were old-fashioned. No. They avoided debt because they understood something. Modern culture tries very hard to normalize. Debt steals flexibility. In difficult times, debt does not just cost money. It costs options. Fixed payments do not care how stressed you are. They do not care if business slows down. They do not care if your health changes. They do not care if your income disappears. The bill still comes. And today, many people have accepted financial pressure as a permanent lifestyle. Car payments, credit cards, buy now pay later plans, financed furniture, vacation payments, subscriptions quietly draining accounts every month. Then people wonder why they cannot build wealth even while earning more money than previous generations ever imagined. Here is the wealth-building habit. Reduce fixed expenses until your life can breathe again. If you do only one thing after this video, do this. List every monthly payment you currently have. Circle the ones you could eliminate within 90 days. Then attack either the smallest balance or the payment, causing you the most stress. Pick the system you will actually stick to. And yes, continue investing if you can. But do not fool yourself into believing you are building wealth while your entire financial life is chained to payments. Real wealth creates flexibility. Debt removes it. If you are still with me right now, hit subscribe. Because this is how adults quietly win money games. Boring systems, repeated consistently for years. 3. Live below your means, then stay there after the raise. This is one of the biggest differences between people with high income and people with actual wealth. Depression survivors did not dramatically inflate their lifestyle every time life improved. They increased their safety first, their savings, their resilience. Today, lifestyle inflation slips into people's lives so quietly. They barely notice it happening. A slightly nicer car, a slightly bigger apartment, a few more food deliveries, a few more subscriptions, a few more small upgrades. And then suddenly, the raise is gone before the future ever benefits from it. You earn more, but somehow feel poorer, because your lifestyle expanded faster than your freedom. So here is the habit. When your income rises, automatically redirect 50 to 80% of that increase towards savings, investing, or debt payoff before you emotionally adjust to having it. Because once you get used to upgraded spending, it stops feeling optional. It starts feeling necessary. And that is dangerous. Let me ask you something. What is one small upgrade you made in the last year that now feels impossible to give up? That question matters more than people realize. Because non-negotiables are often where financial freedom quietly dies. 4. Track every dollar, not to feel guilty, but to feel in control. During the Great Depression, people knew exactly what they had because they had no choice. Today, many people avoid looking at their finances entirely. Not because they are irresponsible, but because numbers trigger shame. But budgeting is not punishment. Tracking your money is not judgment. It is clarity. And clarity changes everything. You do not need some complicated spreadsheet system. You do not need to obsess over every coffee purchase. You simply need awareness. Know what comes in. Know what must go out. Decide intentionally where the rest goes. That alone puts you ahead of most people. Try this. Once a week, spend 10 minutes reviewing your balances and transactions. No shame. No panic. Just attention. Label the spending. Adjust the plan. Move forward. Because wealth tends to favor people who pay attention. And if this is landing for you right now, comment the word control. Because that is what financial awareness really gives you. 5. Learn to repair. Learn to wait. Learn to say not yet. This habit sounds old-fashioned until you realize how much. Modern convenience is quietly costing you. During the Great Depression, people repaired things, maintained things, delayed purchases, made things last. Not because it was charming, because wasting money was dangerous. Today, many people replace instead of repair, upgrade instead of maintain, spend impulsively to relieve stress, then call it self-care. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Impulse spending is often emotional pain wearing a price tag. Stress, loneliness, burnout, insecurity. Money becomes a temporary emotional anesthetic. It feels good briefly. Then the bill arrives. Then the guilt arrives. Then the cycle repeats. Which is why one of the most powerful wealth-building habits is simple. Create distance between desire and purchase. Use a 48-hour rule for non-essential purchases. Keep a wish list instead of instantly buying. If you still want it after 2 days, buy it intentionally. And without guilt. Because most financial problems are not math problems. They are emotional regulation problems. So here is the question I want you to sit with honestly. What emotion causes you to spend the fastest? Stress, boredom, celebration, insecurity. Name it. Because you cannot outbudget a trigger you refuse to acknowledge. 6. One income stream is a single point of failure. During the Great Depression, survival rarely came from one source alone. Families layered income however they could. Side work, repairs, gardens, bartering skills, sewing, selling services. That was not hustle culture. That was resilience. Modern life made dependence on one paycheck feel normal. But normal does not always mean safe. One employer should never control the entire stability of your financial life. So here is the habit. Build at least one additional income stream that does not depend entirely on your primary job. And no, it does not need to become some massive business. Start practical. Freelance a skill you already use. Weekend work with predictable income. Tutoring, consulting, pet sitting, selling unused items, handyman work, organizing, teaching. The goal is not impressing people. The goal is reducing vulnerability. Stability first. Scale later. And if you want help, comment the skills you already have. Writing, spreadsheets, teaching, fixing things, design, organization. I will suggest realistic side income ideas that actually fit your schedule. 7. Buy quality where it matters. Go cheap where it doesn't. Depression-era thinking was never buy the cheapest thing. It was buy what lasts. Because replacing cheap things repeatedly is often more expensive than buying durable things once. Durable shoes often beat replacing cheap shoes 3 times. A reliable used car can beat years of expensive payments. Cooking basics beat endless delivery fees. This is not about punishing yourself. It is about aligning, spending with long-term value instead of short-term emotion. So ask yourself, what is one thing you keep rebuying because the cheaper version keeps failing? That answer matters. Because financial leaks are rarely dramatic. They are repetitive. And plugging repetitive leaks builds wealth faster than most people realize. 8. Keep your life insurable. Protect what you build. This is the conversation many people avoid because it feels uncomfortable, which is exactly why it destroys so many families financially. Depression-era households understood that one illness, injury, or death could erase years of progress overnight. And that reality has not changed. The wealth-building habit here is simple. Protect the downside. Health coverage. Disability insurance if your income depends on your ability to work. Term life insurance if others depend on your income. Basic estate planning. This is not fear. It is responsibility. It is love with preparation attached to it. Because financial security is not just about building money. It is about protecting the people who rely on you. 9. Invest steadily, not heroically. People who survived the Great Depression watched markets collapse, and they also watched markets recover. That experience taught a lesson modern culture constantly forgets. Panic is expensive. Patience pays. Most people ignore the simplest wealth-building strategy because it lacks excitement. Invest consistently. Diversify. Keep costs low. Avoid panic selling. Let time do the heavy lifting. Wealth does not require genius nearly as often as it requires consistency. Your job as an investor is not to be right every month. Your job is to remain in the game long enough for time to work in your favor. 10. Community is a financial strategy. And this final habit may be the most important one of all. During the Great Depression, people survived through community. They shared food, shared work, watched each other's children, helped repair homes, swapped skills. Pride got replaced with practicality. Today, many people try to survive completely alone. Then when life hits hard, they have nobody to call. And isolation becomes expensive. So here is the habit. Build relationships that reduce risk. Trusted friendships. Skill sharing. Networks that exchange opportunities and advice. Honest conversations about money without shame. Now ask yourself this. If you had an emergency tomorrow, who could you call without feeling humiliated? If the answer is almost nobody, do not judge yourself. Build that support system intentionally. Because financial resilience is rarely built alone. The habit beneath all the habits. And underneath every single habit we talked about today, there is one deeper principle. Prepare like life is real. The Great Depression did not make people pessimistic. It made them awake. Most people ignore these habits because modern culture sells a comforting illusion that tomorrow will probably look like today. But wealth is not built by assuming. It is built by preparing. So tonight, do this. 1. Write down your fixed monthly expenses. 2. Pick one payment to reduce or eliminate. 3. Automate one transfer to savings, even if it is only $10. Because small wins restore control. Control restores calm. Calm creates better decisions. And better decisions build wealth. If you want a part 2, subscribe and comment which habit. You are starting with first. Cash buffer. Killing debt. Tracking spending. Extra income. And remember, I am sharing general financial education here, not personal financial advice. But if you want help prioritizing your next steps, tell me. Your age range, whether your income is stable or variable. What kind of debt you have, and whether you already have an emergency fund. And I will help you build a simple starting plan. Because the goal is not looking rich. The goal is becoming financially hard to destroy.